Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. How are we all doing here on this Tuesday morning? This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Hope you are all well. Welcome to another Good Morning Show with Reganelite on Tuesday, the 21st of October, 2025 at 11 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. Marty Von Eric, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well, and anybody else who are lurking in the chats. How am I? Oh, very cranky, I think is a good word to describe me. Yeah, I've wasted, well, I say wasted. For whatever reason, I woke up 6 o'clock and I passed out again. I didn't, I was only, I know I wasn't that late up. I know I wasn't that late up. I couldn't get out of bed until just before 10 o'clock, for some reason. It wasn't, I woke up until 9:30 that I was like, oh, I've got a bunch of stuff to do on my phone I need to get done. And then, the last hour, guys, I've literally only set this up in the last 15 minutes because the last 45 minutes I've been sorting myself out. So, yeah, I don't know what it is, because normally I'm up early and I can get lots of things done. Today, for whatever reason, I just couldn't. I don't know why. I don't know why my body was so tired, but I'm gonna go for a walk after this show. I'm gonna have a late lunch because I had a late breakfast, so I'm gonna have a late lunch. Because I didn't do a proper walk yesterday, and I want to do a proper walk today, even if it starts raining outside. That's something I think will help me in dearly here. But for those who don't know, here on this show. For those who are new here, what we normally do is we do the daily quota, which I have on the calendar, and we look at today's daily quota. We look at the weather in the UK, have a touch of what's the weather's in Europe as well. Then we'll have a look at the news. Sometimes we'll do just nothing but UK news. Sometimes we'll do world news. Sometimes we'll do a mixture of both. So we can see what the mainstream media, most websites are talking about, what news stories are coming up and what are happening. Kind of keep us engaged about what's going on in the world, and I share my thoughts, and you guys can share yours down in the comments below there. Trip, good morning to you. I hope you are doing well. And Stephen Banker there. And because I was so late, obviously I had no time to pop on to Dave McGuinness's stream this morning, unfortunately, which is not like me because normally I'm there for all of them. But yeah, I could not attend today, I'm afraid, guys. But anyway, I hope it was an interesting stream nonetheless. So here is today's daily quota. Here, there it is. There. Hope you guys can see that one. So what is today's daily quota from Dale there? The person who seeks all their applause from outside has their happiness in another's keeping. The person who seeks all their applause from outside has their happiness in another's keeping. It's a very interesting quota. Very interesting one from Dale there. An interesting one. It's my best way to describe that one. That's an interesting one. That's a very interesting one for tomorrow. Well, it'll be interesting to see what people say about that one tomorrow there. Right, let's have a look at see what today's weather is looking like at the moment here, guys. So, the weather report. So, at the moment, if we go to today right now, literally in the next few hours, this is what it looks like at the moment. It's what the weather's saying across Europe here. We can see most places and temperatures down in the southern Europe is still like 20 degrees. Palma 24, Madrid, Lisbon 24, 22, Nice 20, Bern, Zagreb 15, 16 respectfully there. Vienna 14, Kiev 9, Warsaw 11, Berlin 16, Prague 17, Brussels 14, Paris 16 there. Temperatures not too bad today, 13, 14, 12, 13 degrees here today. But if we could just push it a little bit further on a little bit later, there'll be a dip in temperatures, but nothing too serious there from the looks of it there. I think it'll be pretty okay. We just have a little scroll down, have a little bit look here on what some of the other temperatures here. We can see there, so, like I said yesterday, there are some few scatter showers that will be dropping around here and there today, guys, at pretty much all day. Like a few scatter showers, nothing too big. It just varies. So you may get hit with some showers, you may not here. But temperatures are, as you would expect, around this time of the season here. You can see temperatures like up in Scotland, 10, 9 degrees there. Even in Northern Ireland there, 10, 11 degrees there. And 12 there, 11, 12 degrees. Some of these temperatures is what you would expect. Winds don't look too bad either. Doesn't look like it's going to be too windy as well, which is not too bad as well. Good morning, Billy Kershaw. Hope you're doing well. Temperatures there again is what you would expect there. A little bit warmer down on the south of England there at 14, but that's nothing really too much there. If we move into the next day here, overnight doesn't look like again there's going to be too many showers again. It's not going to be too bothersome there, but we can see on Wednesday there maybe a few spotty showers in Scotland, and maybe a few bits and bobs in northern England, but most of it will be dry here from the looks of it here going into Wednesday. But obviously if you go a bit later on tomorrow, looks like there's a bit of a wet storm that's going to be coming down in the southeast of England, and that is going to come in coinciding in Wednesday evening there. So just bear in mind, if you are working or planning anything Wednesday evening down and you live down in the southwest of England, just bear that in mind. Ireland is obviously going to be hit with that storm as well from the looks of it there. We just scroll in and just see, yeah, overnight, yeah, it's pretty much going to come right over. So pretty much Wednesday overnight is really going to be a big massive storm going to be dropping in Wales and the south of England there. It's going to be really coming through all the way up till Thursday there. So it's going to be quite a storm there. Just bear that in mind there on Thursday. Yeah, probably will need to, if I'm going to do some walks, probably be doing them today and tomorrow most likely, because Thursday is probably not going to be an ideal day to be doing them. Sorry, for some reason my throat's not clearing up there, but yeah, temperatures are not too bad here as well as expected, roughly around the same temperatures as expected. 10 degrees maximum looks like there for London, which is then 10 degrees. Other parts there, 10 degrees, Manchester, Edinburgh 9, Belfast 9, Dublin 10 there on Thursday as well. Moving into Thursday there overnight. Not few scattered showers, nothing too serious there on Friday, but some parts will be dry, some parts will be wet. I say from the looks of it there, it looks like mainly Wales, maybe a few bits of Scotland, maybe, but some parts of England, but majority there of Friday you'll be able to get away with it. We should be fine there. Moving into Saturday, looks like it's going to be a dry weekend possibly. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a dry weekend in most parts of the UK there for Saturday. Looks like coming up as well. So if you've got plans going out there, it's not going to be too bad there as well. Sunday, looks like Sunday afternoon. Looks like, yeah, we're going to be getting this shower head coming in as well there. Temperatures are going to be very chilly. Okay, got 9 and 8 there degrees. So Sunday's going to be a very cold day from the looks of it. So temperatures are going to drop even more on Sunday, guys. So just be aware of that there. Those are some of the weather forecasts for today, guys. For those who are tuning in from the Dave McGuinness, hope you guys enjoyed the show. Apologies, I had a very late wake up, so I could not join you guys for the show, but I hope it was a good one there. Alison Keir, Scott Hayes, Ellie, good to see you there. Wallace there as well. Impersonator there as well. Hope you guys are all doing well, and anybody else lurking in the chats. Right, let's have a look at some of the news that's like I said, we're going to be looking at UK specifically. Tomorrow we'll look at the world news and see what's happening there. A reminder that I'll be going live later on today at 6 p.m. for global news, what I like to call the quiet stream, because very few people turn up to it. But if you do turn up to it, you have the chat mostly to yourself. So do join me at that one for global news if you can. Be greatly appreciated. So here is the Telegraph. We'll start with them here. Oxford Union President elected ousted following Charlie Kirk scandal. Labour sabotaging grooming gangs inquiry is what they're claiming here. So this is actually not just, I think it's the second person that's walked out on the grooming gangs inquiry, which is very concerning indeed. Because they've claimed that the victims in it are claiming, those who are part of it, claiming that there are conflicts of interest, which is very, very concerning indeed there. Sarkozy applauded as he heads to prison. The former French president is actually going to prison, guys. He's actually going to prison. Prince Andrew has not paid rent for Royal Lodge since 2003. God, my throat is so full of mucus. I do apologise. BBC staff praised me when I left the stage at Glastonbury. DNA from Madeleine McCann. Oh, I'm not talking about Madeleine McCann. I'm tired of that story, guys. Tired of it. I'm sorry. Japan elects its own Iron Lady as its first female MP. It will be very interesting to see how she does. I've heard some people saying that she's only been in there as a stopgap as well. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how she does as first female prime minister in Japan. It's once again, regardless of whatever the political differences is, it is still an achievement in of itself. To see that in Japan, I think it's a great thing there. Trump calling the shots, and Europe has never looked weaker. 2 killed and planes kiss off runway to sea. Yeah, we covered that story yesterday. Or be on the shorts if it's not today or tomorrow. Putin should only be allowed to travel to Hungary if he agrees to a ceasefire. No, Viktor Orban is going to allow him in regardless. Foreign Office says China essential to Labour's growth plan. Jaguars Island to be handed to Maduros by the end of the year. So it's going to be by the end of the year they're going to be making that change. Tommy Robertson mob threat leads to Maccabi Tel Aviv fans blocking fans from Aston Villa march. Tommy Robertson has got nothing to do with the blocking of that. King Trump shares AI physio protesters being bombed with feces. I will come to that in a moment, my friend. Just bear with me in the chat. I did see it. Don't worry. Asylum seekers baptized in migrant hotel bathtubs. Drug baron pays daughter's school fees with envelopes of cash. God, that sounds very weird. I can't open many of these because this is the tour graph as well, guys. Tuition fees set to rise in line with inflation every year as well. We talked a bit about that yesterday as well. Labour early release scheme to free 6,500 of the worst offenders. I don't think it's going to be the worst offenders. That sounds wrong. I would say the most light-hearted offenders. I think it sounds a lot better. Starmer pledges to claw back Baroness Marone's COVID contract millions. Well, how? How exactly are you getting that money? That's the question I want to know, is how are you going to get that money back? That is the question that I want to know, guys. Just before I carry on here, I'm just going to leave this up here. Thank you, Alison Kier, for the 5 gifted memberships. Gifted 5 to Willie, Dapper, Mutty Von Eric, Weebud, Torchwood, and Phil McCracken have all been gifted memberships there. Thank you so much for those gifted memberships, my friend. Really appreciate it there. Aliston, thank you for the £2 super chat just to get the goal started. Yes, you guys, if you want to financially support the today's super chat goal, minimum £2, be greatly appreciated. If you put in a super chat, I will definitely read it out. Like Alison Keir here saying, to get the goal started, hail the DPR. For those who don't know what DPR, it's the Democratic Penguins Republic. We're protecting and supporting our Democratic Penguin friends who have been hurt very badly by the Trump tariffs, because Donald Trump imposed tariffs on McDonald's Island, if you guys remember. So we are trying to obviously help them out as best we possibly can there. Is the Ben later still with Tim away? The Ben podcast they'll be live streaming later as well. Yeah, it's because I clashed with them, unfortunately, at the time slot. I can't move my I've got nowhere really to put my my global news live stream. I've got nowhere to put it really time slot wise, because wherever I put it in the evening, it's going to clash with someone. So it has to clash with someone, guys, unfortunately. Mon Maggie Twat was enough for this too. He's hoping that Japanese first female leader is a good leader for them and not a conservative one. Yeah, I hope so too. Even so, it's still like a big story. It is a big story because it's once again, women being able to do what the men can do. We need to see more diversity in politics in general. We're still there are still barriers, unfortunately, that needs to be overcome, which is very frustrating. Just also a reminder for people who are new as well, we only go for an hour. We stop at 12 o'clock as well. We don't go beyond that as well, so we only go for an hour here as well. So what's the Times saying here on the front of politics here? Blow to the Grim Gangs inquiry, which you saw already. All this obfuscation so we can have air fryers. What the hell? It's a political sketch. Britain has lost control of its borders. Mahmoud admits that they've had that headline on the front of the Times here for like 3-4 days. to really emphasise just how crap Labour are when it comes to immigration. The Times have had this here. Britain has lost control of its borders. They've had this there for like literally 4 days on politics. Here on the politics section here, they've had this on the front to once again make sure everyone knows that the Home Secretary says this. That if you're not if that's not biased, I don't know what is, guys. Even when I've said already spoken about it, and it's been like 4 days, and they've still got that headline on there. Migrants to train British workers under plan backed by Labour MPs. That sounds like an idea, but again, that's going to take a long time to do. I've talked about the proposal idea of if you want British jobs for British workers, you're going to have to build the people up for it. You know, Rachel Reeves to cut £6 billion of red tape in the hope of balancing the budget. Cutting £6 billion. Where is that £6 billion coming from? Reform suspends 4 councillors. We talked about that twice yesterday. Poison blame for 133 deaths is still unregulated despite alerts. Ministers in a standoff after promising Trump's higher drug prices. Howies will use Brexit blame game to defend the budget tax rises. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she uses that for sure. Mr. Skian, good to see you there. And Janet, good to see you there. Hope you're both doing well. I'll vote Social Democrat if it's an option. I'm not even going to vote Green, definitely. I'm not even voting Green, definitely not Labour. Labour has lost control of the country, let alone borders. He says there. Ellie talking to Alistair there. What have they got in front here? Kings warns radicalisation after Manchester synagogue attack. It's not radicalisation. It's not helping the situation, the King. Anything else here that's worth looking at? British Chess Prodigy, volunteers who intervene to stop suicides in London bridges. Bridge Watch. Oh, that's lovely. It's good to see volunteers here are making a difference here. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of London bridges where people look to take their own lives, which is pretty horrible. So, yeah, I appreciate there's people out there, volunteers, who are trying to stop people doing that. And we're not even going to give Scotland well, is it worth looking at the Scotland feed? I'll have a look at it, but I'm not going to comment on it. But NHS must comply with law on genders. Ministers were warned. Relatives from England arrive quicker than ambulances. New flight paths over Scotland to cut noise. US rapists who fled to Scotland under fake name jail for 5 years. STV retreat from the north is huge problem for breaking news there. Those are some of the stories there from in Scotland's perspective there from the Times. So take what you will of some of those stories there, guys. Let's have a look at the Financial Times and see what the FT is saying today here. Marcus and Mad Monk asked for you, my friend. Marcus has my number, so I don't know. Like, I've messaged him on Discord. I've messaged him on Twitter. So he hasn't responded, Alistair Keir. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. I can message Mad Monk easily because I know he'll respond on Discord. But yeah, it might be too soon to get him on the Thursday roundtable. It might be too soon for him because I'd like to get him on this Thursday if possible. But yeah, I don't know how to reach out to him, Alison. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat. I mean, I'll message Mad Monk. I can message him on Discord after the show. But yeah, I can't reach out to Marcus. He has to reach out to me. So, thank you for that £2 super chat. UK borrowing hits a 5-year high. Here from Public Finances. Dave McGuinness, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Guys, make sure you subscribe to his channel. Doing the morning reviews Monday to Friday at 10:30 a.m. and Monday and Thursday at 6:04 p.m. for the 2 Davies show. All things on Scotland. Do check it out. Great stuff from them there. I slept badly this morning, which is why I missed the show this morning. So, I don't normally miss the show in the morning. Scientists charge too much to come to work in the UK, says the Royal Society. Combined upfront cost of a 5-year global talent visa and immigration health surcharge stands at £5,941. Maccabi Tel Aviv says fans will not attend Aston Villa match in the UK. Bollocks! I call BS on that. They're going to turn up either way. Israeli football clubs to turn down tickets over safety concerns, even if ban on team supporters is reversed. Really? 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 Well, that just makes the government look bloody stupid, doesn't it? The government really want these fans to come. And the football club itself is saying that. This is from the FT, and FT is quite neutral, guys. That's quite significant. That is very significant from what we were reading last night there. That's very significant. Shame I can't open it, guys. Oh. I'm going to put it behind, paywall. Yep, sorry guys, paywall. University tuition fees in England to be linked permanently to inflation. Government promises higher standards in higher education. And renewed focus on skills. A long-awaited white paper there. Reeves launches blitz on red tape in a bid to save £6 billion a year for UK businesses. The Chancellor aims to scrap pointless paperwork and will also pledge to make M&A rules more transparent. Senior Tory MPs urge Keir Starmer to block China's mega embassy plans. Alston Kings and Tom Tugendhat, who said they were spied on in Parliament, called on the Prime Minister to protect national security. Yeah, look, I've said this before and I've said this again about the embassy. Why do they need a bigger embassy? Like, why do any nations need to have giant embassies? Like, Tory graph doesn't even cover Cymru nor Northern Ireland. Yeah, that says a lot, doesn't it? I'm afraid. It does say a lot. Doesn't Mad Mark do mic shifts? Yes, he does, Billy. Yeah, he does. He also moderates a lot of live streams as well. Brexit game have returns ahead of Parliament. Most of these are analysis pieces on the right hand side here, guys. So we'll have a quick look at the homepage just to have a see what they're saying here. UK borrowing hits 5-year high. Nicolas Sarkozy starts jail time in Paris. This is live right now in the UK COVID inquiry, guys. Boris Johnson is taking questions for the COVID inquiry. The UK did plan for mass school closures onset on COVID, says Boris Johnson. Do you believe him? No. Okay, that answers that. US Army taps a private equity group to help fund 150 billion revamp. US UK economy, we've seen that already. Anything else interesting here? Start grooming gangs inquiry. Ukraine European allies call for a peace deal based on current front lines. Japan stock hit records as Sani Takaneshiki. I'm going to learn to try and pronounce that name properly. Sani Takaneshiki becomes the prime minister. First female one in Japan's history. HSBC taps former NatWest executive to lead UK business there. Netherlands to send migrants to Uganda in a Trump-like deal. Scientists charge too much to come work for the UK, unveiling €15 billion ice cream spin-off delayed by US government shutdown. Those are some of the stories there from the Financial Times there. Very interesting stuff indeed. Let's have a look at see what the iPaper has for us here. They're now saying it's too dangerous for the fans to go to the Israeli team regularly. It's dangerous on the UK. Yeah, they are, but the government doesn't care. The government doesn't care. The government are looking at it from a political point of view. They don't want to I said it last night. They don't want to upset their Israeli masters. It's all about pleasing Israel. Like for them, they don't want to be seen as they're trying to look at a way of bypassing this. The government. And the government needs to let it go. The football club does. If both football clubs are saying not to bring the fans, if both football clubs are saying it, and the police are saying not saying it, the government just needs to shut the F up and just accept it. Like, I'm sorry, but they don't know. They don't know, like, obviously, they don't know what it's like yet for them to manage all this kind of stuff. Like, they should just step back and let the experts say this. Let the experts speak on this, you know? They're not helping anyone with their points of view whatsoever. Thank you for the £5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Yeah. All the politicians calling this anti-Semitism just shows how little they actually know about football and the club supporters. So absent-minded and disconnected from reality. Absolutely, Wazel. Yeah, they're absolutely disconnected because, you know, as some of the clubs that were mentioned last night when we were talking about this on the last night's live stream, you know, West Ham have a history. Millwall Football Club has a history. Galatasaray has a history. Has had history as well. There have been certain, before the wars, there were obviously certain Ukrainian and Russian supporters have had history as well. There's clubs in different parts of Europe. It's have their sets of them. Not all football fans, but they have their sets of them. So yeah, it's just something that the government just needs to move on from. Just let it go is the message that I have for the government. Right, the iPaper here. Ditch state pension triple lock and tie it to earnings. The IFS is telling Rees. The Institute of Physical Studies warns that the triple lock makes the public finances more unpredictable and disproportionately benefits richer pensioners. I don't know enough about it to talk about pensions, guys. So you guys will have to better explain it to me, because I'm not as smart about the understanding of the pension triple lock and whatnot. So yeah, you have to explain it to me like I'm an idiot, guys. I'm not joking. I'm not very good at understanding that all that kind of stuff, the pension stuff. Summer back Zelensky after White House shouting match with Trump. Yeah, that was not very good. So they got a couple of exclusives here. What's this exclusive? Phillipson rejects claims she delayed trans guidance to not risk Deputy Prime Minister vote. Phillipson rebuffed the Human Rights Commission after it said the minister must... I hate you, iPaper. Can't read it. That's a shame. So Phillipson rejects claims she's denying trans guidance to not risk the Deputy PM votes. So, yeah. Such annoying. You don't need to apologise, Alistair. Like I said, not everyone can attend every live stream. It's fine. Everyone's got lives, so you don't need to apologise. Fact check. Yes, Brexit has weakened the economy, but here are other reasons it's struggling. I don't even need to open that up to know that. I think we can accept that. Trump's tariffs played a part. Ukraine's war has played a part. The pandemic has definitely played a part in hampering our economy. The austerity been imposed by after 15 years of the Conservatives. All these things have factored into a weakening of our economy, as well as Brexit on top of all these factors. So, yeah, do I think Brexit has played a part? Yes. Is it the only factor? No. The IFS wants to detangle state pensions from inflation, says Dave McGuinness. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the basic was... Am I to understand that if it was up to the IFS, they would get rid of state pensions and have us all on private pensions instead? I would not want that. If your grant's bigger, then 3.7k in cheaper charging to offset incoming taxes. Tax cut plans for employers who hire under 24s on benefits there. Sex assault and other victims free to speak out after gagging order ban as well. 500k to leave Windsor and no rent for years. The mysteries of Andrew's finances. I generally think, the allegations around him are just so strong. Like he really has questions to answer, and he's just not answering them. Like the royal, some people have said this could be the beginning of the end of the royal family. I don't think so. I think if whenever Prince William becomes the king, I think he will try to salvage the royals, and how much he will, I don't know. It's going to be interesting as well. Any others there? No. If he grants bigger than 3k in cheaper charging to offset incoming taxes. Start with back to Zelensky. Health-wise here. Talcum powder has been linked to cancer. Is it safe to use? I've heard that. We were told. I've seen that story last week. I think. Yeah, something about Johnson & Johnson, perhaps containing possible, like there was a recall or something about asbestos within Johnson & Johnson's talcum powder or something. I would say I'd probably recommend not touching it until Johnson & Johnson. Just curious. Just switch brand. I would just say, guys, because there's been some questions about it. Is what I would recommend. There have been some questions about Johnson & Johnson's stuff there. Brits abroad. I bought 130,000k Italian home in 2018. Brexit checks may force me to sell it. Well, that's the benefits of Brexit. The key website's hit by global internet outage from Amazon and Snapchat. I actually wasn't sure if I was going to go live tonight, live last night actually, because Restream sent out a message basically saying that they were affected by it. But as you guys know, I was still able to do the Good Morning Show pretty fine, and was able to do live stream update pretty fine as well. So Elon Musk is no longer the world's richest man. Oh, Crimea River. Crimea River. He's no longer the world's richest man, guys. What a terrible tragedy in the deed. Absolutely terrible. The Welsh economy has been permanently damaged by £4 billion. Yeah, that's one fact. Westminster controls over our physical and financial policies is the main issue. Yeah, I thought Max did a fascinating. I don't know if you guys saw Max Robertspear's interview with Plaid Cymru councillor from Plaid Cymru. I can't remember her name, but it was very fascinating to listen to. And I thought Max is very good with his interviews. He's really been doing well with that stuff there. No worries, Rosemary. Good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. What part of the game of football involves punching and kicking someone seamlessly? Am I missing something, or do I need to be monetized to understand it? Says Pete's Music. Good to see you, Pete. Hope you're doing well. They have a history of vandalizing, causing trouble. I mean, I just don't understand. It's just the government just trying to appeal to. It's just the government trying to appeal to their Israeli masters, as I've always said, guys. That's what it's all about for them. Rising Tory star under fire over deport legal migrants comment. We talked about that last night. She said, basically, she's saying, deport legal migrants who are legally here. And she said, oh, it's not their fault. It's the system fault, but we still got to send them back, is what she's basically saying there. She's being touted as supposedly the next Conservative leader of the future. Basically, how basically trying to out Farage is what they're trying to do there. Maccabee will decline any tickets offered to fans for Villa match, apparently. MPs ask why key IT infrastructure is hosted abroad after AWS outage. What else is here? Lindsay Hoyle hints at security crackdown in the wake of China spy case. Con Speaker previously expressed his anger at the collapse in the case. Speaker in the House of Commons hinted at possible security crackdowns in the wake of the China spy scandal. He said he was speaking to officials about the access arrangement. He said to have sought legal advice on how to pursue this issue in other ways. Days after telling MPs he was very angry over the collapse of the case against two men accused of spying for China. Ministers are continuing to face questions over why prosecutors dropped the charges, which has sparked a political row with the Who's to blame for the failure to prosecute. Speaking to Commons on Monday, Sir Lindsay Sale remained disappointed. Yeah, you're always disappointed, Sir Lindsay. Continuing to seek advice from officials, speak on legal ways to be taken to pursue the issue in other ways. While it would not be appropriate to talk in detail about security matters on the floor of the House, I'm also speaking to officials about access arrangement. The CPS dropped the case against Christopher Cash, a former parliamentary researcher, and Christopher Berry in September after deeming the evidence did not show that China was a threat to national security. Both men who deny wrongdoing have been accused of passing secrets to China. The government has faced questions about whether anything could have been done to prevent the case from collapsing, or whether or not China is considered a security threat. The Security Minister told MPs on Monday that there is nothing Sir Keir Starmer or any other minister could have done to prevent the case falling apart. Jan Jarvis said ultimately it was an entirely independent decision by the CPS to discontinue the case, and they have confirmed that they came under no outside pressure to do so. Yeah, I still find that hard to believe. Ministers have pointed to previous Conservative government's position on China, which the classes has challenged. Again, I just feel like Labour are trying to pin this on the Conservatives. The Conservatives are trying to pin this on Labour. Handbags back and forth over this. Mr. Jarvis urged the Conservatives to stop throwing mud over the issue and pressed them on whether any Tory ministers have been involved in the provision of evidence. Responding to an urgent question from the Shadow Home Secretary Chris Twat, Ms. Jarvis said the people opposite have refused to condemn any Conservative ministers or special advisors that were involved in the provision of evidence under the previous government. I wonder if any of the former ministers are here can provide the answers today. He continued, I gently say to the opposition front bench that they need to stop throwing mud and start coming to terms with what happened on their watch. Do you remember when I said that when the Conservatives were gone, there was always going to be crap around them long after they're gone? Oh, by the way, if you think, that there won't be more snake oil stuff about the Conservatives coming out still down the road, you'll be wrong. There'll be still stuff about the Conservatives over time that we will learn about as time moves on, about things that they've done, and we'll be like, what? They did what? Yeah. You're gonna hear more stuff like that as well. We must turn Labour around. Deputy Leadership frontrunner warns. She hits out on mistakes. Lucy Powell takes aim at the Prime Minister over missteps and mistakes, and she says saying she was sacked for opposing cuts and that the party must reconnect with lost voters by not copying reform. Yeah, but that's definitely one thing they need to stop doing, is trying to copy reform. Issuing a major challenge to Keir Starmer's authority, insisting that she will... go away, please. No! Goddamn Independent. You and your bloody adverts. Insisting that she will push the Prime Minister to reconsider the direction of the party in a bid to rescue the Labour from its dismal poll ratings. The Manchester Central MP was widely regarded as the frontrunner in the deputy leadership race against Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson, with voting set to close on Thursday and the results declared on Saturday. Speaking to the Independent, Mrs Powell insisted that if she is declared the winner on Saturday morning, her mandate will be that we need to make some changes in how we operate. She admits the party has not been able to control the agenda. Excuse me, we've made some mistakes, some missteps. If you want to control the agenda from Nigel Farage and from other politicians, I've said this, like, do a daily briefing. Do a daily briefing. You've got the room. Have a daily briefing. Literally have like somebody talking to the media every day saying, these are the government's actions today. This is the Prime Minister's plans for today. This is where ministers will be today discussing X, Y, and Z or whatnot. You know, the Energy Secretary Miliband is going to be here today, or the Prime Minister is travelling. He's, as you know, is in maybe he's gone abroad or whatnot. Like, you want to be on the agenda. Set the stall out before anybody says anything on social media. The media has to talk to you because you're the bloody government. Do daily media briefings. That's what they need to do. She said that the leadership failed to listen to MPs, most notably over the welfare rebellion which shook the government before the summer, which she believes was a key factor in losing her cabinet job. She wasn't happy about the welfare cuts, and I fed back that there were issues with it. It was going to be a real challenge to offer solutions and the way forward of all that, and that's why I was sacked, and so be it, she said. Now, the reason they were doing the welfare cuts was because they were trying to save money, not even thinking about the fact that, maybe we should listen, maybe we should actually talk to the very people we're going to cut disability. So, we're just going to cut it. You know, who cares? You know, let's just push these people out on the street. You know, that's the mindset of it. You know, the whole disability cuts is the way we saw it. You know, you didn't even I've said this before. It's undemocratic to introduce a policy that you're not even going to consult the very people that it's going to be deeply affected by. You're not even consulting the very people that you are going to be affected by. That's the thing that angers me the most. It wasn't the fact that they were just introducing that policy. It wasn't just that they were introducing a policy to cut entitlements from people with disabilities. It was the fact that they didn't even consult the very people, the very groups, the very organisations that represent these people who are in these positions. They didn't even consult with them. It's so wrong to not even consult with the very people that you're harming as well, and explaining to them why you are doing this. Like, no, fuck you guys. We're just going to cut it. It's just outrageous. This is worth saying any more on this. No, honestly, like, I don't think the deputy leadership role, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. But it will be interesting to see how Labour change when they finally announce their deputy leader. If it will make a big difference. I generally hope it shakes the Labour government up. I really hope it does. I don't have a lot of faith in the Labour government, and I know a lot of people in the chat, rightfully so, don't have a lot of faith in the Labour government as well. But I hope it shakes the government up for the better. I generally mean that because we want our lives to be better. Right now, we're just not feeling that. British troops given powers to shoot down drones near bases. Covered out in a short video. It's dropping either today or tomorrow. What do you guys think? Piers Morgan, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Yeah, I think it's a bollocks idea too, guys. Yeah, thanks for your comments. You didn't even need to comment on that one. Could Labour announce more benefit cuts at the autumn budget? Jesus Christ. Rachel Reeves has indicated further cuts to welfare are likely under this Labour government as she looks ahead to her second autumn budget. The Chancellor has indicated more tax rises and spending cuts to be expected at the physical event. An analysis from the respected Institute of Physical Studies finds that the Treasury will need to find at least 22 billion to tackle the weak economic growth. Look, guys, it's a magical black hole. Asked about changes to the benefit system on a Channel 4 News, Chancellor said, "We can't leave welfare untouched," adding, "We can't get to the end of this parliament session and I've basically done nothing. We have to do reform in the right way and take people with us." If you really want, like, and I generally and sincerely mean this, right? If you really want to take people with you and that, talk to the very people you're going to be harming. At least consult with them. But you're not even doing that. Like this headline here, changes to the benefit system. Like, have you even consulted with any groups, any organizations around this? No. Again, like, the government's forced to abandon $4 billion in proposed cuts to disability benefits in July after Labour MPs mounted a backlash rebelling against the plans. Yeah, because it was fucking bonkers. Sorry for the language. While some changes to universal credit are still set to come into effect in April, these are unlikely to yield any major savings. This means Mr. Reeves may opt to announce further changes to the welfare system in the budget on November the 26th as she looks to raise funds for the Exchequer. You're not going to stop people applying for entitlements. You're just not. The government is also expected to publish its Pathway to Work white paper in the autumn, building on some other measures outlined in its controversial green paper, which put forward the cuts in March. Oh, by the way, keep your eyes out. On the day of the budget, Labour will release some of these. Will release a lot of stuff that they don't want the public to know about, because all the talk will be around the budget. So around the budget day, on the budget day, they always like drop things on the budget day to try and hide stuff from the British public as well, intentionally. Cutting mobility ahead of the budget is emerged that the Chancellor reportedly planning to save £1 billion by restricting disabled people's access to cars through the mobility scheme. Oh yeah, that's definitely making Britain great again, isn't it, guys? Definitely great stuff there. This is the government's backed program that enables people with serious disabilities to get a car by using a portion of their benefits to pay for a lease. It is open to people who claim a qualified mobility allowance, most commonly through the personal independent payment. The scheme provides cars to around 815,000 users, including around 40,000 luxury vehicles. Whitehall sources have indicated that changes to eligibility for the scheme are unlikely, but that scrapping VAT and insurance premium tax exemptions was possible. Another change under consideration is scrapping luxury brands, which can make up 5% of mobility cars. Yeah, I think like if we can avoid the luxury vehicles, I'm okay with that. As long as people are able to get in, as long as people are still able to get to A to B. Yeah, the luxury vehicles, they should not be getting luxury vehicles. I'm just going to say, but obviously don't take away the vehicles that get them from A to B. Disability charities have reacted negatively to the proposals. James Taylor, Director of Strategy at the charity Scope, says it could help heap costs onto disabled people all over Britain. Universal credit health age restrictions. It's a Pathway to Work green paper. The government says it was consulting on an increase to the minimum age for those who are eligible for extra universal credit payments if their health condition or disability limits their ability to work. The consultation will suggest that only people aged over 22 will be able to apply for this health top-up in a move to encourage young people back into work. Former Work and Pension Secretary Liz Kendall said the measures was intended to prevent under-22s from missing out on employment, in tandem with Labour's focus on breaking down the barriers to an opportunity for young people. Savings from this will be reinvested into work and support training opportunities for young people, according to the paper. Over 110,000 young people aged 18 to 21 were claiming the health elements of universal credit in June, according to the most recent government data. Disability Benefits Assessment Overhaul. Changes to disability benefits assessment set to come into force as the government pushes ahead with its plans to shave £5 billion on the welfare bill. Labour confirmed it will continue with proposals announced by the previous Conservative administration. Yeah. I literally attempted for 3 months to have a surgery with my Labour MP. She ignored me until after the bill she voted for. I phoned me up out of the blue to ask what's the issue. Absolutely outrageous. I said, why have you voted for the bill? She said I had to because of the party. I pointed out that the other Welsh Labourers voted against the bill. She said I got the right to vote as I please. She represents you and your constituents, not herself. I bet she hasn't taken a single surgery in my town, nor spoken to a single disability group. I'm so sorry to hear that, Wales. I'm so sorry to hear that. Absolutely outrageous. Yeah, it sounds like a tool, yeah. Yeah, she is an absolute tool, yeah, for not even speaking to you until after it as well. It's really terrible. Thanks so much for covering the mobility thing. Without my mobility car, I wouldn't be housebound, says Mutty. Yeah, I appreciate it. By encouraged aiming force, yeah, this is what they mean. If you have a disability vehicle, it takes up all of your PAP, personal independent payment. Okay, you don't get paid PAP. It pays for your vehicle. It's not a luxury. It's a special vehicle with equipment required for disability pay. So they just put in luxury there to make it sound like people are on luxury vehicles. Is that correct? They just put that in there to make people think that they have luxury vehicles. I don't think it's right that your entire benefits rely on. Like for me, it's really important that people are able to get to A to B. But I don't think it's. I think it should be separate from what your entitlements should be. Your vehicle should be. It should be a separate payment that you should get from what your normal payment should be getting. Why is it merged together? Is my question. It shouldn't be merged together. I don't know why they're making this more difficult here. This is the assessment that decides if an applicant can receive the health-related elements of universal credit. They need to search for work according to the research from the Office of Budget Responsibility. The changes will mean that around 450,000 few people will be considered to have limited capacity of work. This is the thing that infuriates me the most, right? The government's own assessment on this, right? The government's own assessment on this says, right, that this many people are going to be... there's going to be so many people. Was it 500,000 people? What was the figure of amount of people that are going to be? What was originally the amount of people that were going to be kicked off benefits as a result of the changes that they were going to be making? Are we talking about 1 million, 500,000? Like, it's definitely going to be a huge amount of people. But right here, 450,000 fewer people will be considered to have limited capacity for work. So what do they do then? Like, how does it? Like, here's the thing, right? What are Labour trying to achieve here? The question we should be asking is, what is the goal of Labour doing this? What is the benefit of Labour doing this? Who is this benefiting? How is this benefiting Labour in any way, shape, or form? When you have, when there is obviously money that can be made from the richest and the wealthiest in society, but yet here we are talking about the most vulnerable people in society being targeted here. And Massive Area says to me, to clarify, it's only the mobility component of PP that covers mobility. Okay, thank you for that. Appreciate it. I've got bipolar and severe CPDSD or PTSD, says Mr. Skim. Also on stomach acid blockers from the same severe anxiety that causes a cough, and I can't even do driving lessons anymore. I'm so sorry you go through that, Mr. Skim. I really do. I generally mean that, but you have to go through that. I can only offer my condolences, and I generally mean this. I really do hope you get you're getting the support you need, my friend. I really sincerely mean that. Thank you, Alison Keir, for the £2 super chat. Just one more to the goal. Thank you, appreciate it. I'll never vote Labour again. I know that. No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. You see, I don't blame you when you have political parties that are making decisions that deeply affect you. So I totally understand that. By the way, it doesn't mean I'm voting Labour, just for the reference. You know, I'm still planning to vote Green, regardless if my area is Labour. I'll cover a little bit more, guys, and then we'll look at some other stories because we've got about 11 minutes left there. Instead of work capacity benefits, all claimants will instead be assessed through a current PIP assessment. This has led to criticism from politicians and campaigners as the rejection rate for the PIP assessment, which is outsourced to private companies, has been higher in recent years. Yeah, this is the thing that angers me the most, is that they're letting private companies do this. And it should not be this is not something that should be controlled by private companies, because what private businesses will be doing is they will have targets, and their staff will have targets to try and push and make it as life as hellish as possible to get people off. Get people off it. Disabled people should only need to attend one assessment to a certain level of security that they receive. However, abolishing the work capacity benefits without ensuring the assessment of PIP has a wider, more inclusive assessment process for the health element of universal credit that should result in people receiving no support. During the damaging climb down over changes to health-related benefits, the government announced it would launch a PIP review spearheaded by veteran MP Sir Stephen Timms. Currently claimed by 3.7 million people, PIP is designed to help people with extra costs incurred by the living with an illness or disability. Labour's proposals to tweak the assessment criteria for the benefit, which will effectively make it harder to claim, even though it's harder already as it is, were met with fierce opposition from campaign groups and charities. So Stephen said the review is not intended to deliver cuts, but that will certainly have to operate within the current projections of what spending is going to be. The review is not set to conclude until autumn 2026, meaning the changes it recommends will not affect claimants in the meantime. The government has confirmed it will contain a comprehensive review of the PIP assessment. Alongside the upcoming white paper, this could mean major changes to disability benefits in the coming years. Talk to the people you are going to be affecting. Stop dithering around it. Talk to the people you are going to be affecting. Oh, God. It pisses me off so much, guys. Right, let's switch gears from the Independent here because we've got about 9 minutes left. So, got a couple more to look at, guys. Thanks for putting up with that. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you can hit the like button, be greatly appreciated, and share this across social media as well. That does help the channel, guys. So, Sky News here. Prince Andrew should give evidence to US authorities, ministers say. Pressure grows on Prince Andrew to be stripped of Dukem as accused. Post-human memoir release. This should be stripped of everything, really. Boris Johnson gives evidence at the COVID inquiry. We're ready to send troops if Trump strikes Ukraine peace deal. Sends Defense Secretary there. Government to allow early release of thousands of rapists and violent criminals. Tories claim in a sensitive row. There, look, like I'm just not buying this position. Like I have my grievances with Labour. I'm not buying this position that the Labour government are intentionally allowing violent criminals and rapists out of prisons early. Okay, I'm just not buying that. I generally think people with much lighter convictions are being allowed out early to make up the space in the prisons. I generally believe that. I don't think it's this. I think this is the Tories just trying to scaremonger people. I really do think it is. MPs will debate the sentences bill aimed at reviving prison overcrowding, which plans to receive short prison sentences while strengthening community punishment. This is what they need to do more. They need to do more community punishment for certain crimes. Obviously, the most heinous of crimes, they need to be doing their full sentence, yes. But there are people who are behind bars for things that they should not be in prison for, and they should be doing community assessment instead, guys. But I really don't buy this story from the Conservatives, and it's the Conservatives as well there. Wales, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. When all else fails, try Wales. They're carried far, much love. Thank you so much for the £2 super chat, my friend. Appreciate your support. And yes, I really have a lot of optimism for Plaid Cymru, and I really hope that they get overall control at the Welsh elections. And it's about time that Wales has a new party in control. Like Labour have been in control of Wales for far too long. It's about time they've got some people in there who actually fight for them and push governments for the benefit of them. And obviously down the road, a Welsh independence vote will come, hopefully. I know that's still quite a bit away, but obviously keep the discussion talking about it. Anything else here? Doesn't look like much there. Front of UK. Families of domestic abuse victims are at breaking point today. They hope for answers. Cheapest and most expensive countries in the world to buy a pint. Bulgaria. No, won't be Bulgaria for long because they're going to be part of the Euro. Oh. Used to be one pint a levy. I never forget that when long time ago when I went to Bulgaria with family, and it was 1 levy a pint. Okay, and a levy is valued less than a pound. Yeah, So we're talking like 60, 80p for a pint of beer in Bulgaria. Absolutely insane. Just let that sink in, considering how much you pay for a pint of beer now, guys. Police raid more than 120 shops in the biggest ever shoplifting crackdown. Officers arrested 32 people and seized thousands of items worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. Metropolitan Police has raided more than 120 shops suspected of selling stolen goods in the force's largest ever crackdown on shoplifting. Officers arrested 32 people and seized thousands of items, including food, and makeup and electrical devices worth hundreds of thousands of pounds. More than 300 officers were involved in the Blitz war over the 2 days this month, targeting stores suspected of selling goods stolen from major retailers at discounted prices. 9 shops have been served with closure notices as part of Operation Zolon. Shoplifting is not a victimless crime, and gangs involved or organised have linked to drugs and violence. Rogue shopkeepers who trade in stolen goods are funding criminal activity and driving up costs for everyone. They're keeping thieves in business and at the expense of hard-working, law-abiding retailers. Generally, would like to know the name of some of these shops that are doing this as well. 7 people were arrested. Around 2,000 phones were seized in a raid in a shop in Woolwich, southeast London. Woolwich does not surprise me. Police warned body footage showing officers entering the store before prying on an office door to discover loads and loads and loads of suspected stolen devices in cabinets. A room behind a wall panel in the basement also found to contain more phones and other devices, with secret compartments containing around 50,000 worth of gaming consoles. Apple confirmed some of the phones, accessories and packages were fake. Jesus. Officers find Waterstone's umbrella in an off license. Yeah, what? Yeah, that tells you a lot there. Other footage released by police shows finding razor blades, Starbucks travel cups, umbrellas from Waterstones, and Lego sets being sold on off license in Wilston, northwest London. 3 people arrested, and the shop was issued with a closure order from the London Fire Brigade. The Met said the force is working with businesses to crack down on the most prolific shopkeepers across the capital and have solved 92% of most shoplifting cases this year. Officers had a stakeout operation in the Co-op branch in Homerton at North London, were filmed on CCTV pouncing on mask thieves had to carry out a raid in December last year. One of the criminals being seen being tackled in midair, he jumped from the counter before landing on a stack of beer boxes. Oh, well done, police. Good job. This is good. This is really good, especially on retailers who already have a hard enough time as it is, guys. They already have a hard enough time as it is. Any other stories there? Will 2 major airlines cough up for readers' £4,000 wheelchair? Interesting there. Got about a couple of minutes left, so we'll have a look at the Guardian before we go, guys. We're not going to have time to, fortunately, not going to have time to look at byline times, I'm afraid. Just a quick reminder, again, I will be live at 6 p.m. today for Global News outside the UK. If you guys want to join me for it, feel free to do so, or as I like to call it, the quiet live stream, because I don't get many people joining me for that. So if you want to join me for that, feel free to come along for that as well. So obviously the COVID inquiry, Boris Johnson talking there, probably going probably for about 2 hours. He might actually say something useful. I'm not going to put myself through that, but if you want to put yourself through that, go right ahead. I'll probably just listen to some highlights on Twitter, most likely. English universities could raise tuition fees. Talk about that yesterday. David Blunkett backs proposal for skilled migrants to train British workers. Tory MP criticised. Yep, we talked about her. We're probably going to hear more about this woman in the future as well. The thing is, she's a new face, which is something the Conservatives desperately need as well. So she could turn out to be problematic. UK office shops and warehouse construction plunges to 11-year low as costs soar. That's not good. World's loneliest gorillas are doing just fine, Bristol Zoo bosses. Oh no, world's loneliest gorillas. Idea that apes at closed down zoos have been abandoned is ridiculous, the CEO after Urban Explorer video made headlines. What? A rainy afternoon in Bristol, but the troop of western lowland gorillas did not seem to mind the damp and were foraging the snacks of lettuce and cereal scattered around the zoo enclosure. The untrained child expressions might be described as laborious, but Sarah Goman, Cultures and Mammals at Bristol Zoology Society, insists the apes were perfectly relaxed and in tune with each other. They're not sad at all. The Question is whether the gorillas at Bristol Zoo Gardens might be sad has made headlines in the UK tabloids and provoked concerns from animal lovers around the world. What? Is it based on photos that people have made this assumption? 3 years ago, the site near Clifton Suspension Bridge closed to the public and most of the animals moved to a new site, Bristol Zoo Project, on the edge of the city, where they have larger, leafier enclosures. The 8 gorillas were left behind while their new African forest habitat, 4.5 times bigger than their current enclosure, was built. Earlier this month, an urban explorer broke into the zoo and posted a video of one of the apes tapping the glass window on the gorilla house and looking to the amateur watcher sorrowful. One British newspaper wrote, "The world's loneliest gorilla has been found in an abandoned zoo." Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Said the gorillas' expressions and the conditions in which the troops were living had been misunderstood and misrepresented. We consistently monitor how they are, said Gaiman. Gorillas display completely different expressions to us. If we're happy, we smile for a gorilla's sign of aggression. Gorillas rarely show their emotions through facial expressions. They are much more likely to convey feelings through actions, posture, and body language. The expressions on the face of the gorillas and the image that went around the world was neutral. That means relaxed and a very good indicator of well-being. Whether people here or not doesn't have an impact at all. We keep our gorillas here in a family troop, which is true to their species. Apparently, they're supposed to. So, how many of you were aware of this? Like, they're fine. They're fine. They're not lonely. They're not lonely, guys. They're not. I think we should end it there, guys. I think that was worth ending it there. They were apparently very, very lonely. Apparently. Let me just come to see what you got. Don't get many joining yet. There's still time, says Wales there. How do monkeys make cheese on toast? Under a gorilla, says Motty Von Erich. I'm not sure how to respond to that joke. Okay. It's always all we have news faces. It's the brain that's just the same in the body. It is, yeah, but it's from the conservatives' perspective, and I don't mean this. I mean this like, this sounds weird, guys, but it's about time conservatives got a new face on the front of them because they've had the same people for so bloody long. If they generally want to win back voters, they need to have new faces. So, glad it wasn't me distracted by sheds there. I was listening and looked at the advert instead of the article and thought, how the F do you shoplift a shed? How do you shoplift a shed? Well, you'd be surprised. There have been some crazy things that have been shoplifted around. You'd be surprised, guys. Anyways, we've gone well over time, guys. I want to say massive thank you to everyone who's come along. Thank you to those who gave super chats today. Alistair, Kier, and Whale there. Really appreciate you guys for the super chats and for the gifted memberships as well. Alistair there. Thank you for your support. I really, really appreciate it. I'll be back in about 6 hours' time for global news there. So if you can join me for that, feel free to do so. Just also, there's a couple of other live streams you guys are interested in. Geoscopes with Graham Hughes and Bowler Hatman at 7:30. Max Robespierre will be going live at 8:30 on his live stream as well. And just a reminder, I'll be back again live tomorrow with another Good Morning Show at 11 a.m. This Thursday, there'll be the round table with myself, Graham Price of Power to the People, and Daily Blase, plus one more guest. So do join us on Thursday for that if you can as well. So thank you guys once again for coming. But before you go, if you can, just hit that like button, share it across social media. Please consider subscribing. I'd like to get to 2,500 subscribers before the end of the year. We're not far off it. So if you can help me get there, it'd be greatly appreciated. So thank you all so much for watching. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.